I'm Rudy Salem, and I'm here to talk to you about Hospice of Siouxland. Approximately 3 years ago, in my wife's last year of existence, she was going to the chemotherapy at the cancer center here locally, and it was not doing her any good after many more months. So the doctor there suggested that we get hospice for care. We knew nothing about hospice except that they were good. So we decided, okay, that's fine, we'd love to do that. So we got in our car. The drive is about 10 minutes to our house. And the doctor had already called hospice, which we didn't know. But when we parked the car in the garage, came into the house, the phone was ringing, and it was hospice. I said, what took you so long? Anyway, they set up an interview, and the nurse came out, and what an experience. She just came in with quiet confidence. She was superb with my wife. She asked all the right questions, and she assured us that she could help us along with all the members of the hospice here. Well, as time went on, my wife just had the complete confidence in hospice and all their staff. From the lady who called us to set up the interview, to the nurse, to the LPN, to the volunteers, everyone who came to see her, and they were different people because everybody doesn't work every day, they were all full of expertise. They were professional, they were friendly, they couldn't do enough for us. In fact, the nurse one time, my wife needed a prescription, and the nurse went out to the pharmacy to pick up the prescription and bring it to our house. So as time went by, my wife needed assisted living. So with the help of the hospice again, we secured one of the best in town, and hospice followed us right there. But it was amazing how they treated us, because it didn't make any difference if the lady who came in was going to give her a back rub or personal care or real medical assistance. It was the compassion, the love, the interest in us that just made us so happy that we had hospice with us. And it made life much easier for my wife, Mary. I could go on, and I've been thinking about superlatives that I could talk to you about hospice. And there aren't enough words to describe it. I do get emotional, and I shouldn't, but the care they gave us was so good. And this is 3 years later, and I still haven't got over how good they are. Forgive me. Anyway, the compassion that hospice showed us. There was one incident before my wife went to the nursing home. I came to hospice for a little counseling, and I don't know what the person's name was or the title, but I said, I got to talk to my wife about death, and I just can't do that. And she said, Rudy, you'd be better off if you did, and so would your wife. So I only live about 2 minutes from the hospice office. So I got in my car, I went home, my wife was sitting at the kitchen table, and I said, Mary, let's go into the living room. I want to talk to you. I said, we got to talk about end of life. After all, that's what hospice care does eventually. But I said, we're not near it, so don't worry about it. And I said, we got to talk about this. And I think my wife was waiting for this opportunity, and she said, oh yeah, we've got to talk about the obituary, we've got to talk about the funeral home, we've got to talk about a number of things connected with the death. So she said, I don't mind that at all. And she said, the next time Ruth, the nurse from hospice, comes, I want to ask her to pick out my wardrobe. So it was actually amazing. Forgive me for my emotion here, but the hospice people, I've always said that there isn't any better organization. There isn't an organization that I can think of or have ever come in contact with that just came in and became a member of our family. They are terrific, and there's no one to compare with them. I could probably prolong this, and I shouldn't, but there's so many things that build up in my heart for hospice, and what we need is more organizations and people like the hospice people, because when they take care of you, they really mean it. I understand that there may be some shortcoming on funding from the government for hospice, and I would implore you not to do that. These people are professional. They are expert in their field. It doesn't make any difference what their job title is, and everybody who follows the last person in because of days off or anything are of the same caliber. They just adopt you as a member of their family, and we need hospice. I've talked to probably 55 people who have had hospice care, and they all feel the same way that I do. I read in the paper an obituary, and at the end it says, memorials can be sent to hospice. Everyone has the highest regard for hospice. And what we need to do, in my not so humble opinion, is not cut the funds for hospice, but to increase them. Everybody faces the end of life, and I don't want to get on a soapbox here, but the most important thing for these people is to be treated like the human beings that they are, and remember that the service that they gave to their fellow man through their lives needs attention, it needs first-class treatment, and I'm hoping that hospice will be funded to the limit because, and not decreased, because of the great things that they do. So there's so many things that I could go on about hospice, but it all comes down to superlatives. EST, they're the best, and they treat you with respect. They are compassionate. They're quality people. They just have you. It's like you're the only person in the world, and that when they take care of you, their attention is right on you, the patient, and that's what I love about hospice, among other things. So I assume that you get the message that I love hospice, and I would do anything to help them, and hopefully the monetary situation will be favorable to them because of the great things that they do for people like my wife who passed away 3 years ago.